Hello, everybody. I'm pleased to come back to you with the Barefoot Lecture 2 today. In fact, today is the New Year Day in Korea of the lunar calendar year. So we are celebrating this New Year Day and in a long holidays. So I'm pleased to come back to you. Today, I would like to explain to you about the history and the development of the civic movement for walking barefoot in Seoul, Korea. Let's see the PPT. And now I am telling you about the birth of the civic movement of walking barefoot, which dates back to the year 2001, almost 22 years ago. In April 2001, I discovered the surprising healing effect of walking barefoot in Kabaty Uz in Warsaw, Poland. At that time, I was the president and the CEO of LG Petrobank in Warsaw, in Poland. And of course, we had great success, but at the same time, I have a huge stress from it. So at that time, my doctor warned me that if you work like this way, you will die soon. So you should decide whether you continue to work like this or just to lessen the work. At that time, I could not sleep at all during the night, and even the figures indicating the healthiness of my liver was at the worst situation. Fortunately, at that time, I come to see one Korean television program. It shows that one gentleman who was in the last stage of liver cancer, which has been spreaded to his lung and also lymph. So the hospital decided that you cannot live only just a month, so you should leave the hospital. So at that time, the gentleman come back to his home and decided to come to the mountain, just the backside of his house, and taking off the shoes. And he started to walk barefoot and have rest in the mountain. And strangely, his health becomes better. And even he didn't die after 1 month's time. And after a few months later, he became completely fresh and healthy as a normal person. He come back to the hospital and checked what the situation, and all of his cancers have been disappeared. He becomes free of such a last stage of cancers. After seeing that program, I come to the situation that a kind of insight. Oh, there is something special which people do not know walking barefoot. There must be something secret. At that time, I was living just nearby the Kabaty Uz in Warsaw, Poland. Every weekend, I walked there with, of course, wearing shoes, non-conductive sole shoes. But I was in such a bad health situation. I was even warned by the heart doctor to be die soon. So on that weekend, I come to the wood and took off my shoes, and I started to walk barefoot. At that time, the sun shines, and weather was warm, and the leaves of the trees were green, showing vigorous new energy of life. I was so happy to walk barefoot. The surface of the earth was warm enough, and I could acknowledge that all the living things in the forest are the same living creatures. If I wear shoes, I could not see I could not acknowledge such kind of situation. After having 2 hours of barefoot walking, on that night, I could sleep so well. It was sweet sleeping. And from that day, next day, in the morning, I come to the woods and walked barefoot around 1 and 2 hours and come back to the office. I become so different, healthy. And in a few days, I come to the toilet before just 1 time a day, but now I come 2 times, 3 times a day. It means all my intestines work properly, efficiently. And before, I was so weak, so somebody who caught cold passed by me, then immediately that cold, I was caught cold. So even I put the notice in front of my door that somebody who has cold should not come into my room. Prohibited. Some people to approach me. But after walking barefoot, it does not happen again. Even some people's caught cold, I was not impacted. So I become to think that what kind of situation, what kind of mechanism behind of this walking barefoot, how it could help myself become so healthy, so different from the time when I walk in the shoes. I decided to search in the internet, but there was not any single idea. Just in the United States, there was one book titled Barefoot Hiking. And I immediately bought the book, but it shows that if you hike barefoot, it gives you pleasure. That's it. So I decided to trace this situation and to know, to acknowledge, and to summarize what is such kind of situation, how it works. And I decide to write a book to let know the other people, to know about walking barefoot. it will make them happy, healthy. So I got the second assignment that I must work to let other people know this secret of working barefoot, secret of improving their health situation. So let's see. This is the Kabati woods. In the morning, the sun shines so vigorously. All woods are living perfectly. We human beings can also live perfectly without having diseases, sicknesses, pains like this forest. This is what I become to know. Here, myself and my wife and one journalist who come to report about myself and my friend. So we walk all barefoot together. So this is April 2001. So my movement for walking barefoot starts days back to this April 2001. So in May 2006, I publicized the first book, The Pleasure of Walking Barefoot. Yes, this is the first book titled The Pleasure of Walking Barefoot, based on the theory of natural reflexology. So that was May 2006. So in 2006, I come back to Seoul and I started my career as a banker. And after 10 years of serving as the banker, in July 2016, after retirement, I started to open the Barefoot Walking Healing School at Demo Mountain at the center of Seoul. I made a banner showing that Barefoot Forest Healing School and invited people, of course, free of charge. Everybody can come. I will teach you what is the healing mechanism of walking barefoot, and let's live happily, healthily. So many people come every Saturday. Last almost 7 years. Not any one single time I missed. So we continuously held the school every Saturday. Yes, and so after 3 years, in April 2019, I registered officially the school as the civic movement of walking barefoot at Seoul City. We started officially to operate as one of the non-government NGO, non-government organization. To support our community and our people, neighbors, to walk barefoot and to live healthily. And based on that experience, many peoples become to be cured from different kinds of chronic diseases like cancers, cardiovascular diseases, and all other critical diseases. So based on such kind of experience and cases, I wrote the second book in March 2019, titled The Miracle of Walking Barefoot. Subtitle was Any of Chronic Diseases Be Cured in 2 months of walking barefoot. At that time, our members walk barefoot in Demo Mountain. At Demo Mountain, they become to be cured all kind of diseases in 2 months' time. Second book. And next, in 2021 July, I published the third book, Walk Barefoot, Earth's Healing Gift. This book is also describing the different, remarkable, marvelous, surprising cases of healing of the people. And during that time, I established the theories of walking barefoot, how it works, what is the mechanism of the healing, the curing of different diseases. So I established 3 theories. First one is a natural reflexology effect. I wrote in my first book in 2006. The next theory is earthing effect. I learned from the scholars and even the first person who spoke about earthing theory, Mr. Clint Orber in the States. I'm so much happy to get to know such kind of earthing, grounding theories. And even there are around 30 different articles, experiments. The physiologic changes what the walking barefoot brought. In fact, those theories are exactly coincide with what the results of our members' situation. So the theories and the actual situation exactly coincides. So I wrote different concrete theories of that, and later I will explain about such a effect theories. And the third one is the arch and the toe effect, what I wrote, what I become to know, and which also I would like to explain to you next time. So based on this kind of books and the experiences, we decided to launch the life-saving civic festival of walking barefoot. In May 2019, we hold the first life-saving walking barefoot festival at Demo Mountain. Here so many people, around 400 people come together and enjoyed barefoot walking festival. There are many children, families, and even old people came together and enjoyed one day, full day, with walking barefoot at Demo Mountain. But from 2020, there was a COVID-19 pandemic, so we could not hold such kind of festival. So the second one we hold in July 2022, the second Life Saving Walking Barefoot Festival, and 3 months later, October 2022, holding the third Life Saving Walking Barefoot Festival at Demo Mountain. So many people get together and enjoyed and exchanged the experiences, how they could become healthy, how they could be cured from different kinds of cancers and other chronic diseases, which I will show you later in my later lecture, barefoot lecture. So this kind of activities have been continued. So now the current number of members of the civic movement for walking barefoot in Seoul, in Korea. Our website, Neighbor Cafe, has right now, as of today, 13,281 members today. Of course, every day there are new members are coming, joining, continuity increased. In a few years, we believe that it can become at least 100,000 people. And the next 1 million and 10 million would become. Right now, the SNS community, we have also many different, but the first community is 1,500 members. It is the maximum what the KakaoTalk in Korean SNS is allowing. And it was full. So there are so many people to join us. So the second room, right now it is almost 900. And there are all around the country, right now, more than 20 different SNS community is being operated. Right now, this movement is like spreading over the country like a fire. Now it may go over Korea and it can be spreaded over to all through the world. I think it should be, it must be, and it can be, because everybody who walks barefoot becomes healthy and becomes happy. And everybody would like to introduce to other neighbors, let's go to barefoot. You will be happy, you will be healthy. You don't need to take medicine, you don't need to go to hospital. This is what our peoples acknowledges by themselves. So this situation, and you please join us. It will work. Finally, we may realize our human beings' dream, not to be sick, not to be aged, even not to be dead. We don't know. But it can happen. So please join us walking barefoot. Today I will finish this lecture and let's see in my next lecture what is the real mechanism behind it. There are lots of things I must tell you. One by one, I will share my experience and my knowledge and the cases of curement of such kind of sicknesses. Thank you very much for pay attention to me, and see you next in my next barefoot lecture. Thank you very much.